Hot Terence Crawford out again. My boy Terence Crawford, man. I don't know what to think about this dude, man. He seems to want a lot of things, yet for whatever reason, he still doesn't understand that there's certain steps you need to take and there's certain things you need to do in order to make them happen. He came out talking about fighting a Manny Pacquiao because I guess he believes the BS that they're really trying to negotiate that fight for him, which is they're not trying to negotiate ish. You know what I'm saying? He's not fighting Manny Pacquiao, but he's basically saying that he understands that for that fight to happen, they're gonna have to pay Manny Pacquiao a lot of money, and that's a key thing right there. You'd have to pay Manny Pacquiao a lot of money, something that your promoters hasn't been willing to do. He wasn't willing to pay Danny Garcia what was necessary to make that fight happen. He wasn't willing to pay Sean Porter. He's not willing to pay Sean Porter what is necessary for that particular fight to happen, and he's not going to be willing to pay Manny Pacquiao now or back then. He wasn't willing to pay Manny Pacquiao $20 million back then in order to get that fight set up for you, and he's not going to be willing to do that now. We just seen Bob Arum talking about how boxers need to, they need to convince boxers to take less guaranteed money. And how they need to decrease the amount of pay-per-view dollars, I guess, to $40 in order to try to get more people to buy pay-per-views. But they also that the boxers need to take less money. He's trying to pay less money right now, not more money. Supposedly Manny Pacquiao versus Thurman, and Manny Pacquiao versus Broner lost money. Supposedly Earl Spence versus Sean Porter lost money because the guarantees are so high. Supposedly all these things are just losing money, according to Bob Arum. They're losing money. They're not making any bread, and they're taking major losses supposedly. Yet. So because of that, supposedly, he's not going to be paying those. He's not going to be paying those prices. And what he wants to do is he wants to decrease the amount of money that they give to boxers. That's why you also hear him a lot of times saying, that fight can't happen. Who's going to pay him the larger purse he wants? Who's going to pay Mikey Garcia the large purse he wants? Who's going to pay Danny or this guy the large purse that they want? We can't make the fight. They want too much money. There's not enough money in it. And that's part of why so because of that, no, it's not going to happen. He's not going to make the investment, that it would take for you to get that fight. He's not going to be willing to do it, so you're not going to get that fight. And unfortunately, you haven't got yourself to the space where, let's say a PBC or whatever, be like, all right, yeah, let me give you this money and bring him over here, which Bob Arum won't allow anyway. But even if Bob Arum would allow that to happen, if when Manny Pacquiao is being, has fights being put in front of him, hey, you can have Terence Crawford, this guy over here that's decreasing in value on a consistently. This guy that's doing 40, 70,000 pay-per-views, 60,000 pay-per-views, which is a dangerous fight, or you can do this other fight, which is also a dangerous fight against Earl Spence, but you can do it against a guy who the last 2 times has been on pay-per-views that sold over 300,000 pay-per-views, who also did massive, great gates, purse-wise, money-wise on both fights. Which one are you going to pick? You're going to pick the one that you're going to get paid the most amount of money. Oh, yeah, and if you do this other fight over here, this guy is not going to guarantee you anywhere near what this particular fight's going to guarantee you. And you'll still have upside on this fight as well. He's going to take that Earl Spence fight because it's just financially it's a better fight for him. He's going to make more money on that particular fight. Manny Pacquiao might make more money fighting a Danny Garcia or even fighting a Mike Garcia and having everything be in-house than try to deal with a Terence Crawford and have to deal with the Bob Arums of the world and having to bring other entities inside where now things can get sketchy if they're in control of the money because you're already used to being robbed and having your money taken by this particular guy. You know what I'm saying? So you'd have to have a monstrous, incentive, to fight you in the first place because all the baggage and the drama and the BS that comes along with fighting somebody that's on top rank. You know what I mean? And like you said, you always keep saying, oh, well, it's going to come up to the money when it comes to the Earl Spence fight. Man, it's all about the money. It's all about money. Yes, mother effer, it's about money. You know, and you need to start making the moves that's going to put you into a space where when these certain fighters fight you, you bring top dollar. And a lot of guys are calling you out. It's about, you know, your promoter paying them or your promoter allowing you, since there's supposedly no, you know, other side of the streets, your promoter allowing you to go to the other side to face some of these guys on a straight up PBC event. You know, where you're coming and they're paying you what they're paying you, you know, and they're gonna pay you well anyway, and you're doing the fights there on a PBC event. If your promoter's not willing to pay these other guys the necessary funds to set up your fights, because with you it seems to be just it's all about, oh, you could do this or you could do that. It's always could with you, but actual fights don't happen. You don't want to fight anybody that Earl Spence fought, because you're, quote, dealing with his leftovers, I guess. Now you, quote, only want to fight champions. You keep, you know, shrinking and minimizing, the fights that would progress your career and make you a bigger name in the first place anyway. You keep turning those down anyway. So, you know, as far as the Manny Pacquiao fight, it's not going to happen. So you might as well just move on and start looking at things that are realistic. Ugas wants to fight you. That's realistic. You know, if your promoters are willing to actually invest funds in promoting you and pay the likes of a Keith Thurman or a Danny Garcia, that could be possible for you as well. Or you also have that option, like I said, where if they're not willing to pay for it, they can always just let you go to the other, go to the people, since there's no other side of the street. There's no sides of the street. Allow them to let you go to, you know, to PBC and do some fights over there, when then Bob Arum doesn't have to do any of the legwork, doesn't have to pay the licensing fee, doesn't have to pay for the venue, doesn't pay for none of that stuff. We'll let PBC handle all that. And that money portion of it goes away. But, you know, once all this craziness is over with, you know, and we'll see who Terence Crawford fights. But something tells me it's not going to be anybody that we're jumping, you know, for joy in order to see him fight. But it is what it is. People choose their careers, they choose the routes that they take, and the chips fall where they may. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.